Hello, everyone. How's it going? You can't respond back, but I hope it's going well. I'm Gabriela Flores, and this is the Vanguardian Voices. I am your host for today in this first segment. And if you're new to Vanguardian Voices, hello, welcome. I am the editor-in-chief of the Brooklyn College Vanguard, which is a student-run newspaper here on campus. We publish every Wednesday, and we have printed physical copies on the stands throughout campus at every entrance of the building on Tuesday nights. So, slay, in my opinion.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And that lovely voice that you hear is Louis Fletcher from the Get Back. That is a show that follows right after Vanguardian Voices. So, hello, Louis.
Cello.
Cello.
Cello to all and cello to everybody. How we doing this fine evening? You can't respond, but Gabriella, you can. I said evening like it's like 5 o'clock at night.
You know what?
It's the afternoon.
Time is a concept, Louis, so
Yeah?
it's okay.
Time is a social construct, you know? I think that's fine. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can get jiggy with it. I can get
Okay.
jiggy with it.
Yeah, I guess. The
But-
sun has a mind of its own.
But Gabby,
Anyway.
do you want to tell the people what is going to be the new layout/format for the Vanguardian Voices this upcoming semester?
Yes. So for this upcoming semester, if you are a regular listener of Vanguardian Voices, what we usually do in the beginning of the show is recap our latest issues. So the issues that are coming out the following day on Wednesday. But now, since my co-host, the lovely Michaela R. Leah, is coming out of class a little bit later than our runtime, we have switched things up a bit. So in our first segment, we'll be interviewing either a writer or an editor from the paper to discuss their work at the Vanguard. And then we'll proceed to recapping after a quick little break. And after the recaps, we'll have a segment by our lovely news person here, Allison Dubrow.
Allison Dubrow.
Dubrow. Hell yeah. Anyway, so Allison will be ripping headlines. And then we'll give a little 2 cents into the stories that she shares.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And for those who are aware that the Vanguard is a student newspaper, hopefully because now I just told you. But anyway, if you're interested in writing or in joining the Vanguard, maybe as a photographer, as an editor, we are having a lot of positions open up at the end of this spring. So please stop by our office at Roosevelt 118. That is Roosevelt 118, or email us at thebcvanguard@gmail.com.
It's a nice office, too.
It's a nice office. We got a little goat, a squishy mellow goat.
A squishmallow.
Oh, squish. There you go.
They have basketball for all the B-boys heads who want to be there.
Yeah.
And if you want to shoot some hoops, get a little game of one-on-one, I might be there. I might pop up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might intervene too. Might as well show who actually throws ball. I don't know if that's the terminology. That is not the terminology. You know what? Another topic. And we also have a little dartboard, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's darts. Yes, it's darts.
For the folks who have terrible aim and for those who don't. But yeah, so definitely stop by. We'll usually be there at Tuesdays after 2, 2 to usually 4, and then by 4, we usually have our issues then. But if you see people like walking around campus with a stack of newspapers, that's probably us. So definitely say hi and let us know who you are. But yeah, without further ado, we figured before we start off our first segment, where we'll be interviewing later on Samia Afsar, who is the arts editor for the Vanguard, I figured, hey, you know what? Let's interview here our lovely soundboard editor, operator, if that's the word, Louis Fletcher.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
How we doing? So the reason why we're interviewing me is because people is running late. All right. So I think we got to make that abundantly clear. All right. This was not scheduled, but we'll make it happen anyway.
Yeah. Abundantly clear. You know what? We like being transparent with the people.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what.
That's all I'm about. Transparency.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make my intentions known, clear. You know what I'm saying?
As a true journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I a journalist?
I mean,
kind of.
Who is a journalist, right?
True.
Define that. Who is a journalist? What constitutes as journalism?
You write
Yeah.
and you write about things.
Okay, thank you. Well, anyway, Lewis, now Lewis is actually WBCR's new treasurer. So, round of applause, Lewis.
Yeah.
So, what does it feel like to, have this e-board position in the radio station?
I don't feel any different, but I know like my role has changed like a tad bit. Basically meaning like I have like added responsibility, which is I'm cool for. And also like the treasurer position like manages like the money for the radio station, like getting things like funding for, let's say hypothetically, a new soundboard, right? So my thing is I want to do more things with video, not just for my own radio show, but for also like the other shows that want to do it and like expand more than just audio. So I'm going to be sitting in those meetings, and they're going to hear a lot of me this semester. And, it's fine. Paperwork ain't nothing. It's just getting people to agree with what I'm saying. That'll be a task, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, especially getting those student funds sometimes. It could be uphill.
A pain.
A pain.
You can say it. It's fine. We're transparent.
Uphill battle.
A battle.
I'll state that. A lot of meetings, a lot of paperwork.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We got Zoom. We could do meetings.
Oh, well, I don't think that they'll be doing them on Zoom anymore. But you know what?
Why not?
That's a sentiment that counts. They
don't want to do it. Zoom. Zoom has made it so convenient for teachers, but now y'all, come on, man.
Who knows? Who knows, honestly. So, but yeah, Lewis, and I did want to ask you too, like, you are part of the Get Back, and why did you and your colleagues there decide to start the show in the first place?
Why did we? Well, we decided to, I always wanted to be a part of this radio station, and when I heard that it was coming back, starting back up, I was really excited because I started during COVID, so I would always walk by this place and I would have a class literally to the right of the radio station, and I would just look into the window very sadly, and I'm like, oh, I wanna see what's up with this. So, I put in a little a form. What I'm interested in, what I can do, and then I got connected with JD and then TS, and then they matched me, Sam, David, and Melissa. They matched us all, and then we started a radio show. So that's pretty much how it went, and then the rest is just all four of us just filing out the details, if you know what I mean. So that's pretty much what has been happening. Yeah,
and y'all have been sharing great hot takes. I know last week you interviewed Damien Ovalle, I'm hoping.
It's Ovalle.
Ovalle, I knew. The double
you got it correct the first time.
Yeah. I was like, I can tell a Latino name when I see
Ovalle.
Ovalle? Maybe. But Ovalle, and you guys were speaking about his powerlifting career. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Came in there with sorta a plan. I just really wanted to make it conversational because there's nothing worse than just reading off a piece of paper a question and not really engaging with what the other person is saying, perhaps. I don't know, I watch certain interviews and I see certain people, they do these interviews and they ask the question, the person answers, and then it's next question. I'm like, whoa.
Not that being our layout for this segment.
Nah, but ours is different because we're relaying the facts.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to get to the root of the person. But these other people, they're just asking it's like they're hitting a quota. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make it more conversational and just talk to Damien, not just the guy. I wanted to talk to Damien himself. Really wanted to understand and make it funny. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what I wanted to do with that.
Yeah, and if you want to catch that episode, you could definitely check it out on WBCR's YouTube. They even have video now, so slay, WBCR, slay.
Damien was looking ginormous on camera, obviously, because he squats over 500, big boy, you know what I'm saying? And then I was also looking big too, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry. And someone catch that scissor reference?
Yes, we heard the yes. I didn't get it, but I went along with it.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
It's a big boy song.
It's a big
Yeah.
voice song. Yeah.
That's a song. Anyway, so thank you so much, Lewis. And again, that was Lewis Fletcher from the Get Back. And you can hear the Get Back right after Vanguardian Voices at 1 p.m. And now, listeners, we have our lovely arts editor here, Miss Samia Afsar.
Hello.
So, hello, Samia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's okay. We were a little transparent here. It's all right. We're all human. But yeah, Samia, we had worked together for almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question that I had for you, why did you decide to join the Vanguard?
Well, I actually didn't know about the Vanguard when I joined. What had happened was I was in the class with Michaela, who's the managing editor. And this was during COVID. We had a class together. And like during COVID, people used to talk more in the chats. So someone asked, what's everyone's major? And for some reason I replied. I usually don't, just because it's like too many notifications.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm a journalism media major. Michaela texted me, hey, do you want to work for the Vanguard? I was like, of course. So yeah.
Shout out to the lovely Dr. Arlia, who will be joining us soon. But yeah, and so you are, as you mentioned, a jams major.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you get into that major in the first place, and what's been your favorite part of it?
I honestly just chose jams as my major because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew I liked writing, so it just kind of made sense. I was like, okay, well, I'll do this, and I like talking to strangers, so I was like, this is kind of perfect. So there's that. I think the coolest part about the major is usually when you think of journalism, you really only think about newspapers, but journalism is so much more now. Even your Instagram, that's journalism, so I think that's cool, like anything could be journalism, so it's fun.
Yeah, expanding, I guess, the media horizons in a way. But yeah, and as you mentioned, I've noticed that you're like a social butterfly with strangers. So why do you think it's kind of easy for you to engage with strangers?
I think it's easier for me to talk to strangers just because I have this idea in my head that I'm never going to see them again. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, I could tell them anything, they'll tell me anything, and then I'll just keep it pushing, like I think that's like the most fun part of like there's no consequences to telling them what you want to tell them. So yeah.
Yeah. Unless you meet each other again and then,
yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I've confessed like everything, so hopefully not.
But imagine they're like, hey, aren't you? And then awkward.
I don't know.
But yeah, and so you are involved also with filming and editing during your spare time. So tell us more about that and the projects you've taken on.
So I was really never into film per se, but it was kind of the same thing with the strangers talking. Me and my best friend, we kind of always just talk to strangers, and at some point we started recording the conversations just because it was kind of like not funny, but almost beautiful, like someone confessing everything to you, and it's just like, I think it's beautiful, it's poetic almost. So it was just like for fun, kind of just like, well, this is just like us talking, this is like, we'll record it for fun. But then I took a documentary making class last semester. Sorry, I'm out of breath, I ran here.
It's okay.
I'm very unfair, I have smoker lungs, but...
It's okay.
So yeah, I took that documentary making class and I realized, wow, like I could probably use all this footage to kind of make something. So that's kind of like as much experience as I have in filmmaking. Kind of it's all very observation, it's all nonfiction. So I hope that makes sense.
No, yeah, definitely. And like, what are some of the people that you've encountered in, filming alongside your friend?
Strangers, really, honestly. Like sometimes I don't even remember their name because we never exchange names. It's just like, we're at the bar, this guy looks lonely, let's go talk to him, like what's on your mind? So yeah, really just strangers. I love strangers.
Love that. Yeah. And what's been your favorite project so far?
I did for one of the assignments in my documentary making class, I did a video on my friend, and it was just observational. We just had to record someone doing something, and she was just getting ready to go on a date with her boyfriend. A bunch of stuff happened while she was getting ready. So I really like that just because it's like, it's her being herself and it's fun and it's like silly, goofy. I don't know, but it's just, I think you have to watch it, understand it. It's just like someone being themselves, and like all this stuff is happening to them. Like her boyfriend kind of canceled on her, and then she thought he was cheating on her. So it was just like fun to kind of see everything go down. But I mean, it was sad, but it was fun. Like when we watch it, and we laugh at it now. But probably the most fun project I worked on.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds fun. And whoa, that boyfriend, a shady dude.
He's a sweet boy. It was all a misunderstanding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens. But so where do you originally hail from, and are you a Brooklynite?
Well, I moved here from London in 2016. I'm originally from India and Nepal, but I moved around a lot because of my dad's job. So moved here from London. Now my parents live in Namibia, which is right above South Africa, for those who don't know, because nobody knows Namibia. But yeah.
Whoa, so you a London gal. I'm sorry. That was so bad.
When I first moved here, I had a really strong British accent. It kind of went away. I assimilate. Where if I moved to Germany, I would probably have a German accent. But so yeah, I remember in school people used to tell me like, "Can you say that?" I mean, it's not appropriate for the radio show, but they'd be like, "Can you say this? Can you say that?" So that was fun times.
Yeah. Well, so how have you been adjusting to Brooklyn? So how long have you been here?
It's kind of complicated because my parents left 2020 right before COVID, so I moved out and I lived in Church Avenue at the time, and then COVID happened, so I kind of like left New York. So if there was no COVID, I probably would have been in Brooklyn since 2020, but I left to go be with my parents, so I didn't come back until 2022. I think that's when school started, and then I moved from Church Avenue to it's Church Avenue, Flatbush, East Flatbush, same area. Yeah. I'm in Brooklyn, so yeah, moved to Brooklyn at some point.
Yeah, definitely. And what's been like your favorite place so far, like in staying in, since you've traveled around pretty much?
I love New York. And you know what's crazy? Like before I moved to New York, I was like, wow, everyone drags it like New York, New York, New York. But it's like when you move here, it's like, wow, there really is no place like New York. It's like, I don't know, the people, it's just, I love New York. It's kind of hard to explain. New York is New York.
Yeah, we're not overhyped. Yeah.
I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
Oh,
why is he laughing?
I don't know, Louis. I don't know. You're always giggling, which we appreciate.
Look, listen, New York's the best. You know, I'm just glad somebody else said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think all of us kind of were like, yes, New York.
And nobody called me a transplant. I'm a New Yorker by association. I did high school here, so.
Yes. Yeah, no transplants here. All right. So why did you decide to come to BC?
It was the only school I got into, so.
That's honest. Yeah.
I honestly really didn't apply either. I wasn't planning on going to college, but I was like, well, I really don't have anything else to do at the moment, so I guess I'll go to school. I applied to, I think, Queens College and here, and I didn't get into Queens, so I was like, okay, well, I'll go to Brooklyn College.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the Vanguard, what's been the most challenging piece to cover so far?
I think, in terms of challenging, I don't think I've had a piece per se that was challenging, but I think the most, like, my struggle for me, honestly, was just, like, myself and my own insecurities. I feel like I'll work on a piece and I feel like it's not good enough and I'll just stare at it for hours. And I think that's my biggest challenge when it comes to Vanguard, like, especially because it's not just for homework, it's being published and people will see your name. So you want to do the best work you can. So I think my biggest challenge is myself. So.
Whoa, that's deep. Yes, Mia. And also, as like the person who reads your stuff, like the first drafts, they're always great. So, yeah. Kudos to you. A little round of applause for Samia.
Thank you.
Yes. And have you picked up any tricks or lessons so far during your time at the paper?
I think I'm still learning. The biggest thing that I'm working on is time management. I'm so sorry, Gabby and Michaela. Yeah, it's really just time management, really. Like, I think that's the biggest thing with journalism as well. I'm a very slow writer, and before journalism, I always wrote for myself, so there was no, like, concept of time. When I was writing, it was like, okay, well, this came to my mind, I'll write it now. But in journalism, like, there is, like, if there's a story due, there's a story due, like, you know. So that's, like, my biggest thing, trying to not figure out, but trying to learn how to manage my time and get my priorities straight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We're all learning. And last but not least, we have one last burning question for you. Samia, what's your go-to restaurant?
I'm poor. I can't eat out. I'm very poor. But my favorite, no, it's not even a joke. It's kind of sad at this point. I'm on the road to destitution. Like, it's getting bad. My favorite, like, type of food, though, I would say is Thai food. I love Thai food. Thai iced tea, anything. Green curry, yellow curry, red curry, anything.
Yes.
And I love rice. I need rice every single day of my life. And, yeah.
Yeah, I love rice, too. You know what? And thank you. Hopefully we can all go get some time soon. All right. So, listeners, thank you. That was Samia Spar.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And now we're going to conclude our first segment, go into a little break. And here now we have my co-host, Michaela Arlia.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So we'll catch you soon. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hi everyone. So we're back for our second segment. And now we're going to be recapping with the lovely Dr. Arlia. Hello.
You have to stop calling me that.
It's a manifestation.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take the good vibes. Right, hello everyone. And like Abby mentioned, we will be recapping issues 2 and 3, which 3 is yet to be in print. You can catch that in the stands tomorrow and online on our website. But issue 2 of the spring semester was released in print last week on February 1st. So we're going to go into that a little bit and recap what went down in those pages.
Yes.
So covers of our issue is enrollment going up, and the story accompanying that is the developing COVID impacts on BC's transfer student enrollment, written by yours truly, the duo. And and here we kind of just recap Brooklyn College student enrollment for the spring 2023 semester as it kind of remains in flux, but registration is continuing. So there has been some not so great trends recently with enrollment at BC due to the pandemic and a bunch of other factors. But we're highlighting some transfer enrollment and what the college is planning on doing to highlight more enrollment from transfer students from two-year colleges in the CUNY system and beyond. including most recently the college signed an articulation agreement with Gutman Community College in January, where credits for entering transfers could count towards a bachelor's in Earth Environmental Studies at Brooklyn College. So currently, the total enrollment for undergrads and graduate students is 12,736 students as of January 26th, and approximately that is 7.19% less than the enrollment during the same time last year. But there's hope. We're hoping for more enrollment, more students going up, hopefully.
Yeah. And we'll definitely be revising this article. Again, it's developing, so hopefully by March when the numbers for spring and total enrollment is finalized. All right, and in our second issue, we also had a feature by Kate Dempsey, who's a staff writer at the Vanguard. It's the Bridges for Yemen Club hosted a mental health awareness panel for Yemeni Americans. So the club decided to host a panel on Saturday, January 28th, in collaboration with the Yemeni American Merchants Association, the Muslim American Society, and AICHA, I hope that I am pronouncing that correctly, a Yemeni community organization based in Brooklyn. And they pretty much discuss the effects of the war that's happening in Yemen and the different struggles that Yemeni Americans go through on a day-to-day basis. So definitely check that out. Again, that is our second issue.
And in arts for this issue, we had a review of the film The Menu by Samia. And she recapped this review by saying that the acting and the cinematography aside, the writing is what made the film stellar. So the script and all of the characters written portrayed a perfect commentary on the elite's unsympathetic and unsatisfactory involvement in the world of the arts, which makes the film impeccably sharp, witty, dark, comedic, and perfectly poetic at its very core.
Yeah, and also we had Amira Turner, who is a new staff writer at the Vanguard. We have giggles all around this afternoon. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so Amira Turner, she wrote about hip hop and how it's evolved. OMG, these arms, these hands. Okay, so how it's evolved over 50 years. And if you catch the Grammys, you probably saw this tribute to hip hop with a compilation of different talented artists. So yeah, it's a big moment. And Amira just pretty much delves into how hip hop pretty much started in the Bronx, and over the past 50 years, it's combined elements of breakdancing, graffiti, record scratching, and beats to create what we know now as hip-hop. So definitely catch that piece in our issue 2.
And in sports in this issue, aside from our normal weekly recap of sports around BC, our own sports editor, Owen Russell, wrote a piece entitled, "Will the New York Giants Still Have Daniel Jones as Their Quarterback?" In this piece, he recapped the Giants exceeding everyone's expectations this season, despite suffering a defeat in the divisional round of this year's playoffs. Thanks, Eagles. And the Giants outplayed even the most generous predictions. They did win 9 games and made the postseason, and their first-year head coach, Brian DeBole, deserves much of this credit. Sorry, Louis, did I say that wrong? Oops. He received the rushing game and created an offense allowing quarterback Daniel Jones to shine. So you can read more about that opinion in issue 2 as well.
You got to get that correct, Michaela.
All right,
It's
I'll speak to you before when I talk about
Brian
sports. Sorry.
Daboll.
All right,
Day
now
Ball.
now everyone
The greatest
knows.
bald man in New York. Facts.
The greatest ball. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. So honorable mentions for issue 2. Michaela Arlia, she wrote an opinion. Did it only take T Swift, that is Taylor Swift, for our government to agree? And she delves into the lawsuit that's going against Ticketmaster. So if you haven't heard, Taylor Swift fans are livid. They are upset at
Livid.
the chaos. Isn't it?
You said livid. Livid.
OMG. English is my second language, y'all.
Wow, you take a
Apologies.
2-week break.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Taylor Swift fans, Swifties, they're very upset about the chaos that happened at Ticketmaster, and even our government leaders are getting involved and hearing what exactly went down. There's also the Mixed Martial Arts Club that's returning this spring. Your lovely ripping the headlines person here. Alison Dubrow wrote that for us.
Made her Vanguard debut.
Yeah. And we also had an obituary to Dr. Betty Lee Sung. That was Cities College Asian American Studies founder. She died at 98. And now we're going to be delving into our upcoming issue that'll be released tomorrow online. But you could definitely catch a printed copy, hopefully by tonight, Tuesday night. And our third issue is titled BC Talks with CEO. And our cover story, of course, is BC hosts leading CEO, cancer surgeon for first presidential lecture. That was by, of course, Gabriela Flores. And reporting assistance. And the reporting assistance by Kaylin Guzman, who leads the station here at WBCR and is our photo editor at the Vanguard. So Brooklyn College hosted Dr. Selwyn M. Vickers, the CEO and president of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, to discuss health disparities, the future of cancer research, and his upbringing with President Michelle Anderson. And this happened last Thursday on February 2nd. So Vickers' visit marks the college's first presidential lecture, and there they announced CUNY's partnership with New York Jobs CEO Council, an organization that partners with top companies to hire more New Yorkers to diversify their workplace.
Sounds fun. Yeah. And in our feature section in this issue, the Spring Involvement Fair returned for the spring semester, and student leaders encountered some issues written by our features editor, Serene Sarsour, and reporting assistance by Gabriela Flores. So the Spring Involvement Fair returned this semester in the Student Center across all the floors, and while chatting with student leaders from clubs and organizations at BC, like Stuck in the Library, Caribbean Student Union, the Hillel Club, and Bangladesh Student Association, Brooklyn College students got the opportunity to learn about different student clubs and the resources and organizations on campus during this biannual fair. And this was last Tuesday, January 31st. So tables were lined up throughout the Student Center's floors with club leaders looking to connect with potential members, new, old, returning. Some issues they encountered, however, were that some opined that sale confirmed the fair later than expected, and the event's organization wasn't effective for some floors to gain traction. We can relate to that as we were on the 6th floor.
It was a walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
I took the elevator.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was free?
Yeah.
Cool.
The elevator, yeah, free.
Oh, look at you.
Yes.
I will hope so.
Those stairs, wow, that was our leg day.
Yeah.
But, and for our third piece that we're going to be mentioning, The Mind of an Artist, BC student Gi-dong Kim and His Musical Pursuits by, again, yours truly, Samia Afsar. So Samia sat down with Gi-dong Kim, and he's a BC student who's the president of Composers Collective and the VP of the TV Club here at Brooklyn College. He's a multi-talented composer whose pursuit of music began when he was 7 years old in his native South Korea. He had a few turns along the way. I know he studied business, and he quit that. Good for him.
Seriously.
Honestly. And he served in the South Korean Army and became a journalist for an outlet there. So he's lived a whole other life before, really delving into his musical career here. So now he's in Brooklyn making incredible music, and you can catch him and the members of the Composers Collective at a concert next month. We'll keep you all posted on the exact date.
And in our opinion section, of course I had to be the one to bring this up, is an opinion by our opinions editor, Shay Stevenson, entitled The Problem with Artificial Intelligence. We really like talking about this on this show. So Shay talked about ChatGPT, which I'm so tired of saying, and how it's many academics are scratching their heads on what to do with it, which is creating buzz the past few weeks on this show and outside the show. So Shay delved into how automated writing cannot replace original human thought. Thank you, Shay. But it will inevitably change things like all other automated technology has in real time, like self-driving cars. So you can delve more into his thoughts in the issue online tomorrow, or a copy on stands by tonight on campus, or you know what, I feel like we'll just be talking about it in the next 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and in sports, we covered a feature on the men's and swimming diving team. So they landed third place in the QNEC Championships. Round of applause for them. And they shared with me their challenges along the way, their reflections of this past season, and what they hope to continue into the spring for those who are not yet graduating. But right now, the two captains, that's Ronaldo Barrios and Christian Hoyak, they are graduating this May. So they also shared, what they hope to be doing post-BC. And that piece is titled A Bulldog Family, the men's swimming and diving team. So you can catch that again tonight, hopefully.
And some honorable mentions from this issue include Gabriella's first op-ed in a column that she is starting / we are sharing called Before the Presses, where she kind of goes into showing Queen some love. So in the past fall 2022, we're getting some thumbs down from the peanut gallery over here. So in the past fall 22 semester, about 9.9% of enrolled students at Brooklyn College said that they live in Queens. And Gabby delves into some of her favorite spots in Kew Gardens, her native Astoria, and other neighborhoods scattered around the borough. And she shares some fun facts, how, for example, 47% of Queens residents were born in another country.
Yes, we're the world's borough.
Also honorable mention, a date has been set for commencement this year.
Yes. So if you're a graduating senior or if you graduated, last summer, I believe, 2022, fall 2022, winter intercession 2023, this spring, and the upcoming summer term, then you can probably graduate and watch the commencement. Hopefully.
Don't take her word for it.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you pass your classes, y'all. So
but
graduate June 2nd at Barclays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. And now we're going to have our lovely here, Allison Dubrow. Hello, Allison.
Hello. There was an update with Chat GPT.
I told you in the
but
next 5
I
minutes.
didn't include it.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah. I thought maybe it was a little too much. Well, we're going to start with some devastating news. Nearly 5,000 people are dead after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit Turkey and Syria. Unfortunately, that number is expected to rise, and according to the World Health Organization, as many as 20,000 people may have been killed. Rescuers have been searching for people and are hoping to pull more survivors from the rubble. So far, 8,000 people have been rescued. The Biden administration said it will send search and rescue teams to support Turkey's efforts. One result of the earthquake is that tens of thousands of people are now homeless in the cold winter with freezing temperatures and snow. In other news, you may have heard about the Chinese spy balloon. The balloon first entered the United States airspace on January 28th and flew over 4 military sites in Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Missouri, and eventually made its way to the South Carolina coast, where it was shot down over the weekend. The balloon was up to 200 feet tall. I believe that it was the size of 3 buses. And China claims it was a weather balloon that was blown off course and has accused the United States of overreacting when we shot it down.
It's like when she said Chinese balloon, the first thing I remembered was that episode of Phineas and Ferb, Balloony, is that his name?
Yes.
Nobody knows it?
Yes.
That's the only thing I'm envisioning, the face of the balloon. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I remember I kept hearing about this balloon. I was like, what is everyone talking about? Finally checked the news and I saw it. Very interesting. I also think there's some updates in that there were more balloons during Trump's time as president, but they didn't realize, or I think there also might have been another one now during Biden's time. It's hard to find, I guess. I don't know.
It's huge. How is it hard to find? Okay. I guess no one looked up.
Yeah, right. Nobody looked up. All right. Well, according to CBS News, this year Social Security recipients have received the biggest hike since 1981, with the pension program set to deliver an 8.7% cost of living increase. The Social Security Administration adjusts payments annually based on the inflation rate, which this year has reached its highest levels in 4 decades. Also, according to CBS News, as a result of the inflation, 4 in 10 seniors said that they drained their emergency savings to stay afloat this year. Now, I find this super interesting and devastating, of course. I mean, there are people in their 80s struggling to live off of Social Security. But the reason I find this interesting is because a new study by Intuit found that Gen Z does not like talking about finances. Some of the stats from the survey data show 2/3 say they know how to make a budget and track their income, but haven't done it. That's 66%. 2/3 know it's important to invest, but they don't know how. That's 64%. And 2/3 say they're not sure they'll ever have enough money to retire. That's 66%. So what do you guys think? Do you like talking about finances, or are you beginning to save for retirement?
Save for retirement.
You couldn't even
I'm
say
saving
that
for
with a
a-
straight face.
No.
Well, it's an entertaining topic, no?
It is. Honestly, I kind of
Well,
just thought like 5 years down the line, I'm probably going to be broke by the pace that I'm spending my money. But it is an interesting topic. I've noticed that a lot of people are trying to promote financial literacy, which is incredible, you know? But the thing is that are we willing to put it in practice? I'm not sure. I haven't seen, you know, many people our age actually thinking like, hey, let me have savings. I also think that with the rise of social media, like we see all these influencers really balling out. And Gen Z, I think, like as a member of Gen Z, we've really grown up with these influencers, you know, showing us these lavish lives, and you know, we've grown accustomed to different habits. Like, I know for me, like I like to spend my money on lattes on the daily. So I don't know if other people are like me, but yeah, I definitely think that it's obvious that most of us don't really consider our finances.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people in this generation, in a few generations, do not know the value of $1.
Wow.
They don't. I mean, like, my mind went to like, okay, the Grammys the other night. Did anyone catch the comment about eggs with Taylor Swift, and she looked like she had no idea what an egg cost? Like, no one knows. And it's kind of scary.
Bagels are almost like $6. You guys are talking about saving up for retirement. I'm saving up for breakfast. Like, why is a bagel $5.50? It makes no sense. And another thing, the scariest thing for me personally is Apple Pay, because it's not real to me. Like, all I do is just double tap. Okay, cool. I guess the money's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not real to me. And then I check my account. I mean, the money is obviously leaving my account, but it doesn't feel that way.
Well, I think with the technology making it more convenient, we don't pay attention to what we're spending now.
Exactly.
So it's like, oh, it costs that, okay. And then you go to look at how much you paid, and you're like, wow.
Because you're not holding the dollar in your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you have the cash, you're more conscious about it. There's something else I was going to say about that. Oh, I also think it's a problem of maybe not having it in schools. Like, I know my school taught us, we had government and economics class, and one class, like, they did half the year economics, the other half was government. So I know a few things about it. You know, you have to have rainy day savings for when it's a rainy day and you need that money, you can pull it out. Also, an effective way, open a Roth IRA account when you get your first job, right? So the money will increase and you can put in some money as well, and that will help you have some money for retirement. Definitely do that, people.
It's nice to know other people paid attention in economics class. That's really nice.
Yeah. I know that, like, in my old high school, there was this one professor there who just taught, like, for the final 3 classes of his class. It was, like, a math class for the smarties. But anyway, and he was just like, I don't understand why people never talk about credit cards or taxes and, you know, so forth. Like, these are big things. And, like, definitely if we don't handle properly, especially taxes, the IRS is going to come after us. And imagine, like, by the time we're, like, 30, 40, screwed.
It would be nice to start with letting people know how to balance a checkbook. Do you know how many people don't know how to do that? Or write a check? Write a check. For a balance, write it.
I love writing checks. I feel so elite
know.
when I do.
Well, at least you know how to do it. There's so many people that don't. Again, scary.
I'm sorry.
Maybe it should be an article in the Vanguard.
You said balance a check. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Oh,
Like, what do you
goodness.
mean?
All right, we'll talk later, Samia.
Yeah, so if you guys want that as a piece, as Allison mentioned, we could definitely do that.
Yep, coming your way. Once I check in with the editors, of course. All right. So the age of sharing your Netflix password is coming to an end.
Dun, dun, dun.
According to CNBC, the main hurdle that Netflix will place in front of password sharers is device verification when phones, computers, and streaming devices are logged into an account that isn't the primary user's home network. So Netflix is going to send an email to the primary account holder with the 4-digit verification code, which they will have 15 minutes to enter before it expires. Now, they did say if you get caught sharing a password, they're not going to automatically charge you if you share your account, but I think this is just like the beginning stages. So it seems they're trying to find a logical way to crack down on people sharing passwords. Also, according to CNBC, in Peru, Costa Rica, and Chile, Netflix charged fees up to $3 per month to add sub-accounts for users who reside outside the account holder's name. So what do we think? Is it worth it?
I think I heard something saying where you can only use the account also on like connected to your home Wi-Fi, which I think is insane. So, I mean, either way, I use my parents' account and they don't live in the country, so obviously that means I'm going to have to buy a new account. But even at that, so when my dad goes to work, he can't use his account. So it's like, why am I even spending money? And then even at that, like, Netflix renews seasons. I mean, personally, like, speaking from my opinion, I feel like the shows they renew suck. So it's like, and then they cancel the good shows. So it's like, what am I, paying for? And even at that, 1, 2, 3 movies is free. So, I'll figure it out.
There's YouTube recaps sometimes, like the fan edits. I think, honestly, like, well, when seeing, like, these different Netflix productions, I always, like, ask myself, like, how can they afford this? So I think it makes sense for them to upcharge, but also it's just, like, the economy. Like, in this economy, and you're charging people, like, this amount, I don't know, like, eggs. Like, I saw bagels. I saw, you know how much my milk costs now? Like, I'm just like, whoa.
No, seriously.
We're going to be
I
breaking
think
the bank.
a lot of people have been saying that they'd rather just cancel the account altogether for the reasons that you mentioned as well, that they don't really like what's on it anyway. So if they're going to have to pay more, I think Netflix might end up losing more people than they intend to if they actually do start charging people to, like, for sharing their account or making it higher. So isn't it like $17.99 already? I don't know.
Guys, do you remember when Netflix
I could
was
be
like
wrong.
a vending machine?
No,
Like,
seriously.
like, look at where they started, and now they're just being all like bratty about it.
Yeah, when they first started, I believe they tweeted something like, "Love is sharing your password."
I saw that.
Yeah. And now they don't want you to do that. So
Yeah.
don't do it.
All I know is that HBO's winning right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, the Grammys were this past Sunday night, and history was made. Beyonce broke the record for most Grammy Awards an artist has ever won in their career, with 32 of them. Viola Davis also got her EGOT status. She won the Grammy for Best Audiobook, Narration, and Storytelling for her memoir Finding Me, which I did not know you could get a Grammy for audiobooks. So interesting. But that's amazing for her. According to NPR News, she's only the 3rd Black woman to claim EGOT status and the 18th person to receive the honor overall. That is very nice. And also, what to watch. Tonight is the State of the Union, and you can watch it at 9 p.m. on the major news networks. Biden will discuss foreign affairs, or is likely to discuss foreign affairs, and bring up the war with Ukraine. Last year, when he addressed the nation, it came just days after Russia invaded Ukraine. Now the speech will come just days after announcing $2.2 billion in new aid for Ukraine. In addition to that, he may speak about the United States' relations with China. In recent months, Biden has expressed support for Taiwan, and the United States has just announced plans to expand its military presence in the Philippines to provide extra support in the region. In addition to that, the United States' relations with China seem to have gotten even more tense due to the balloon that was floating in Montana. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was supposed to travel to China this weekend, but has since canceled his visit. Biden will likely highlight bipartisan achievements such as the Infrastructure Bill, the Safer Communities Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act, and he will probably name some sections where he would like to see more common ground, such as the debt ceiling. Biden is also likely to speak about gun violence and gun control. Tyree Nichols' parents are set to be in attendance, along with Brandon Say, the man who disarmed the shooter in Monterey Park, California. So if you're interested in politics and you want to watch, make sure to tune in. That's 9 p.m. tonight. And you can also catch the Super Bowl on February 12th. It's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Woo! I'm rooting for the Eagles, if you couldn't tell. I don't really care who wins, though. And, of course, the main reason why anyone would watch the Super Bowl, the halftime show. Rihanna is set to perform, so we shall see how she does.
Yeah. So keep your eyes glued on the screen, people. And also a little plug for the Grammys. So Bad Bunny, gotta shout out Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny won Best Música Urbana album for Un Verano Sin Ti. So shout out to Bad Bunny, who's not listening, but you know what?
But you know, his biggest fans are here. So.
Big fan.
You never know. He could be listening.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
He's like, thank you, Gabby.
Imagine. I'll be like, oh. Anyway. All right. So thank you so much, Allison.
Of course. Thank you.
And now, people, will be wrapping up. That was our little wrap up of issues 2, 3, and of course, the global news that's happening right now. And yeah, so Michaela, what's been your favorite part so far writing this semester?
It's only been 3 weeks. My favorite part so far, I would have to say, is writing on time and getting things in. Doesn't matter what I'm writing these days, just getting it in. What about you?
Yeah, it's all right. So mine, definitely that we've actually, accomplished our goal for the scheduling.
Don't speak that soon. It is still the 3rd week.
That's true. All right. Well, it's been good so far. So
Knock on
that's
wood.
been great. Knock on all the different types of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that's been our favorite part. Yeah. And Allison?
Okay, I would say if anyone's listening and they really are on the fence about wanting to write, do it. Because this is my first issue last week. It was last week, right? Yeah. Like I wrote something. And, you as a journalism major, you get the assignments that you have to do. You have to do the interviews and then put it together. And, of course, I want to do my best work for that. And I do, I think. But it was a different feeling knowing that it was going to get published and I could hold the physical paper. And I think maybe Brooklyn College students aren't as excited about the news as they should be. This is your paper. If you want to write about something, do it. I mean, obviously come to the Vanguard and talk to the beautiful people who run it. But also, if you're on the fence, I mean, everyone here was so supportive and so nice. And they just answered any questions I had. They were there to help me with anything I needed. So definitely do it if you're not sure if you want to. Do it.
Well, that was a better pitch than we've ever done. So
Yes.
thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Allison.
Oh, of course, guys.
And we were blessed to have your writing in our issue. So now that's about it that we have for you today. And Mr. Lewis Fletcher had a word.
Allison,
Yes.
there was talks about an MMA club?
Yeah, there's a new MMA club. They haven't, since I spoke to them, they haven't set an actual time to meet yet, but they're planning on doing that. They have an Instagram. I think it's Brooklyn College MMA. If you type in that, it'll come up. So are you interested in joining?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I already covered the sports. And I've wanted to, y'all just see me around the radio station shadowboxing. I know Melissa's tired of it. I know Allison's tired of it, Michaela, Gabriella. And I know Kaylin's tired of it because I do it right next to her. So being able to it's not even it's just fun.
You should join. Do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to join. Let's go.
Yes, do it and then report back to us how it was.
I'll report back.
Yeah.
All right, MMA Club. You got a new member coming your
Come
way.
on, guys, listen. We're going to make it poppin', all right? If you guys need help editing videos, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? If you guys need, a soundtrack, some music.
I think they actually wanted someone to help run their Instagram account and take photos during the club meetings. So if you're interested in that.
Well, I'm not going to be taking photos. The only thing I'm going to be taking photos of is my high kick.
All right.
My left hand.
On that note.
My
Right.
my jab.
Okay,
my
goodbye.
my 1-1-2.
I have to go.
On that note.
1-1-2. Listen, my 1-1-2. My 1-2.
Still going.
2. You know what I'm saying?
what this
Not
means.
reading the room.
No, seriously.
Guys, listen. Just because y'all can't do it, y'all don't gotta hate. It's all right. Whatever. All right, bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Lewis. All right, and that was it for our 3rd episode here. Well, 1st episode of the spring semester, 3rd continuing from the winter. But thank you all for listening in, and make sure to catch us on the stands. And thanks to everyone who joined, and catch us next week.
See ya.